Hello YouTube B3, back with another kicking action figure review. Today's review is over another Mattel DC figure. It's the DC Comics Multiverse Arrow figure. Yeah, this is from the Batman Justice Buster Collect and Connect wave. And he does come with this arm for Justice Buster that has less paint on it than the actual picture of Justice Buster, but whatever. So yeah, it comes with this arm. And yeah, you know, he's not the best figure in the world, honestly. I picked him up, one, because I want to build Justice Buster, and two, so I could have a Season 2 Arrow without actually having to get the Season 2 Arrow from DC Collectibles, because I have the Season 1 Arrow from DC Collectibles that comes in a 2-pack. And the only difference between him and the Season 2 Arrow figure is that the Season 2 one has a mask and a different bow. Which is one of the weird things about this figure, because as you can see, he has the mask like Season 2 Arrow, but he has Season 1 Arrow's bow, which is odd to me. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they just had a similar bow and, you know, that was already sculpted or something, so they decided to use it. I don't know what's up with that. But we're going to zoom out. So here he is, the Arrow. Now he's currently Green Arrow on the show, and I'm finally caught up. Oh, thank goodness. Both, you know, on the show, but not figure-wise, because I'm mainly getting the DC Collectibles. I just got this guy to kind of go with my Mattel figures, since, you know, they have the Movie Masters and everything, which is mainly why I got this guy to go with stuff like that. But, yeah, you know, I guess he's decent, but he's really nothing to get excited over. He comes with two accessories. He comes with this arrow that's like all green shaft with a little silver tip. His other arrows are painted differently, so it looks weird. Like, it's not an accurate arrow. I wish it was painted more like his actual arrows, like these are. But what you gonna do? And he has this arrow holding hand, which is his only hand. He doesn't have interchangeable hands or anything, sadly. And it's got this peg, and it pegs into the hand, which I guess isn't a terrible idea, honestly. It stays in really well. It's not a bad idea. It looks odd, because that's not how you hold an arrow, but it's not a terrible idea, I think. I guess props to Mattel for trying something new with that. And then here's the bow. As I said, it's really like the Season 1 bow. And he actually, I think, holds it a little better than the DC Collectibles holds his, because the DC Collectible one kind of bends his hand out of shape when you hold it correctly, so it's weird. But he holds this one fine. It doesn't have a string, which I think is dumb. And it's the Season 1 bow, which really freaks me out. I don't know why they chose the Season 1 bow, but I guess the paint's okay. There's lots of like silver splotches all right here where there shouldn't be, you see, right there and there. But, and this could have been a better bow. I would have liked a string I could pluck, you know? That would have been much better. But yeah, his Arrow figure himself, detail and paint wise, you know, I guess the face like the head sculpt there isn't too bad. Yeah, you know, the hood, it's not really like any of the other hoods on any of my Mattel figures. It's not connected, but I guess it could be worse, you know? It could be like the Shazam hood from the Signature Collection, the Comic-Con exclusive one, you know? Awful hood. But this one's better. At the very least, you can turn his head while having the hood on. So, you know, I think that's fine, honestly. Yeah, so he's got an okay look. He could use some more paint detail, but he's got, you know, different shades of green and stuff all over him. He's not terrible. All the little arrows on his person are painted pretty well, it seems like. So that's cool, you know, and he's got his different hands, more arrows right there. Not too terrible looking. But, you know, the DC Collectibles one obviously blows it out of the water, detail and paint-wise. But yeah, now articulation, as you can see, the hood doesn't hinder, and it moves with the head articulation side to side, not really up and down at all. You do have up and down on the arms, which is pretty good, forward and back. Instead of having a bicep swivel, it has a swivel on the elbow and then a single elbow bend, which really moves about as well as with the bicep and then a single elbow. It's really no different since they don't give us double elbow bends. Thanks for nothing for that, Mattel, but still. Swivel on the hand. You probably could have posed him with his bow better if there was in and out. As you saw, the pose of the bow wasn't perfect. You can't get him in too great of a pose. I might have to get the DC Icons Longbow Hunter's Green Arrow just so I can have one that might be able to pose properly. But no ab crunch, obviously, which sucks. There's not one on the Flash figure from this wave either. I would have really liked one though. It seems like Mattel's wishy-washy. Like sometimes they're giving us ab crunches and sometimes they're not. I don't know what the deal with that is. Like when it was every once in a while no ab crunch, I was like, you know, whatever. And then for a while it was consistently no ab crunch, which pissed me off. And now it's like weird. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, you saw the waist swivel. Got in and out on the legs pretty far. You can do the splits. So that's neat. Forward and back on the legs. And then you have a thigh swivel right there. Single knee bend. And then up and down on the foot. I really wish he had an ankle pivot, but obviously that's asking too much, I guess. It's really not, but still. So, yeah, that's the look of this Arrow. Now let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here's Arrow with some other movie and TV figures from Mattel. Here on the left is our Season 2 Flash. Season 1 and Season 2 Flash are kind of variants of each other. So, you know, same wave as the Arrow here, and I think they actually scale pretty perfectly together. And then here he is with the Batman vs. Superman Batman on the right, who looks a little too big for Arrow, honestly, which I kind of don't like. Here's just some other movie figures. These are from the Movie Masters line, which is technically discontinued, and it's now all under the Multiverse line. Here on the left we have Man of Steel Superman, the same size as Batman vs. Superman, by the way. And on the right, the Dark Knight Rises Batman. And I actually think he looks better with these Movie Master figures, which are a little too small for the regular 6-inch figures, but he fits in pretty perfectly with them, I think. And here he is with some of our regular 6-inch figures from other Mattel lines. Here on the left, the DC Unlimited Savage Hawkman, and here on the right, the DC Universe Classics, or DCUC, Power Girl. I think he looks too small with them, you know. I think he looks best with the Movie Masters, which I kind of hate to say, but it seems like it's true. I wish he scaled a little better with these guys because he just feels too small. Now here's just some DC Icons figures from DC Direct. Here on the left we have Black Adam, and on the right Batman. And I don't think he's too bad with the Black Adam, so he'll look bigger, or better, with some of the bigger ones, I guess. But I'm not crazy about him with the Batman. And here he is with some DC Collectibles figures in their regular 7-inch scale. Here on the left we have the Season 1 Flash from DC Collectibles, and here on the right, New 52 Nightwing from the Greg Capullo Designer Series. And honestly, he's way too small for them. I shouldn't with the Flash, because the Flash is from the, you know, same television show universe as this Arrow is. But honestly, he's just not going to scale well with these at all. You'll have to get a regular Arrow. So what are my final thoughts on the DC Comics Multiverse Arrow figure from Mattel and the Justice Buster Build-A-Figure wave? Or Collect and Connect wave, as it were. Honestly, Mattel, you have failed this city. I'm not crazy about this figure. I like their idea about the pegging arrow. It looks a little unnatural, but it stays in place. I'm not worried about the arrow falling out and getting lost in display or anything. I'm probably not going to display him with the arrow anyways, because I'll probably have him in a vanilla pose just to save room on the shelf. But, yeah, and then there's the weird thing about the bow. I would have very much liked a Season 2 bow instead of a Season 1 bow. You know, honestly, I'm not going to complain about the hood too much. I like having the articulation options with the hood, so I'm going to let that pass. He seems too small. I mean, the movie figures now scale well with the comic figures, which I'm very happy about, but the television show figures seem to be about Movie Master's size, which is odd to me. That's odd to me. Like, if I want to make a Justice League with my Flash and, you know, my Dark Knight Rises or Batman and stuff, like with my Movie Masters from the older movies that weren't part of the, you know, whole DC movie verse, with the exception of Man of Steel, of course, then, you know, it'd go great. But I'd really like to have him with the DCCU, you know, the cinematic universe. I don't think it's called the DCCU. I think it's just called the DCU. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Batman vs. Superman probably won't be a good movie anyways. I'm filming this in February. You got about a month and 4 days to go before that movie comes out. But, you know, he scales well with the Flash that's in the same wave, and I guess that's cool. The Reverse Flash is going to be in the second half of this wave. And I really want Reverse Flash because I love this character in the show, but I feel like the figure's also not going to be too great. But I'll get the DC Collectibles one as well anyways, so it's whatever. But, yeah, so honestly, not the best figure. If you're only gonna get one Arrow figure and you don't care about scaling or anything, get one of the DC Collectibles ones. I'd say the Season 1 Arrow from the 2-pack or the Season 2 Arrow, because honestly the Season 3 Arrow doesn't look so great. It looks animated, like it's from the Vixen show or something. I've only seen episode 1 of Vixen. I need to watch the rest of Vixen, because she's about to show up in the Arrow show this week. I'm filming this in the week that Vixen appears on Arrow. But yeah, you know, that's it, you guys. I'm gonna let you decide whether you think this figure's right for your collection or not. Obviously, you know, it's not really my say. But yeah, thank you all so much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. And you know, if you want an Arrow to go with your movie masters and stuff, this is a good one to get. But it's not the best Arrow figure out there, I feel like. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Thank you all once again, and I'll see you all later.